Wow. Well, dang. I've been talking and I did not have the audio on. So if you just tuning in, I talked for about 5 minutes with no audio. See, that's what I say. A lot of times, just before I go on, I might do something goofy or the equipment will do something goofy. I just happened to notice I wasn't getting a meter down here, and let me turn that up a little bit, right about there. Maybe that's coming in now. I wasn't getting a lot of I wasn't getting much audio a second ago. Oh, hey, y'all did remember. What's up? How's it going, Elise? I didn't think nobody actually remembered that I was going to be an hour earlier today. That's funny. That is really, really funny. Um, Man, how y'all doing today? Everything good with you? Tell you what, I'm feeling pretty good myself. Feeling pretty good, thank goodness. We got some good halfway decent weather. The weather's not all that bad. Cool. Excellent. I'm glad you happy. I'm glad you doing great. Um it is June 1st. June 1st. And just before coming on, I'm listening to the news and they're saying the ceasefire is being threatened. The ceasefire is being threatened by Iran and America trading missiles and drones. Now, I don't know how you call that a ceasefire being threatened, but I'd say we shy of one ceasefire if y'all trading missiles and drones with each other. You know, that's funny that they keep calling it a ceasefire and they trading missiles and drones, shooting at each other, blowing shit up, and they calling it a ceasefire. So anyway, before I get started, oh, I got a video just for a friend of mine out there. It's a friend of mine out there, and you know who you are. This video is just for you. Check it out.
Strong. We're rolling out something wild today. 3 feet of armadillo clean and ready for the pit. We're packing that shell full of dirty rice loaded with andouille peppers and herbs. Tie it tight, dust it with a sweet spicy rub, and let the pecan smoke work its magic. After a few hours, that shell bronzes up like old leather boots. Hit it with a honey bourbon glaze.
Hey, Charles, what's happening, man? That video was just for somebody, some specifically one individual. And you know who you are. What's up, Charles, man? It's a wonderful life. Let's hear from the Lego news. You know what? The Lego news is on point. We're gonna talk about something tonight that the Lego news put out a couple of nights ago, and I'm just not catching it. Hey, Charles, man, you gotta live a little, man. You gotta live a little. Shoot, you never know, man. That might be succulent and flavorful. I tell you what. Um, the re- when I came across that, it answered a couple of questions for me about armadillos. I had an experience some years back down in Texas, and there's one of you out there that know what I'm talking about. and, and now I think I know. Uh, but that Lego news, whenever we listening to this Lego news or this plastic news, they like to call it the plastic news. They are actually they are actually revealing real stuff. We're gonna talk about one in particular. A couple nights ago, I heard the Lego news saying something inside the video, and I'm gonna find out if you all can uh, caught it, cause I caught it, and I didn't really pay attention And today, I found out something, and I'm going to reveal that shortly. Let's check it out.
Part 1, we called you a loser. Part 2, we called you a liar. You had one job, Donnie. One job. Don't make us do part 3. You made us do part 3. Back again with a brand new round. Same old man, same hollow crown. Built a tower, called it gold. Every brick was bought and sold. Thought it was art. Played the king, never played the part. Fake the news when the truth gets loud. Golf on weekends, tweets to the crowd. I alone can fix it, said the man who couldn't hold a single steady plan. Art of the deal, more like art of the steal. Donnie, tell me, was any of it real? Sat on the throne in a golden room. History's writing up your end of doom. Every con man gets his curtain call. 3 chapters later, Donnie, how's the fall? They asked me one word for you. I said 5 letters. They'll do. Listen close. This one's for you. Say it slow. Let it sink through. IDIOT. Now you know. Now the whole world knows. IDIOT. 5 letters spell the truth. IDIOT. Written on the roof. Idiot. The whole world saying it. Idiot. And we ain't faking it. Now let's talk about little Pete. Got the job but couldn't find his feet. Fox News face, no battlefield. Secrets on a group chat you revealed. Wrong chat, wrong people, wrong move, wrong day. Pete, we saw the message, what do you say? Little Pete, little general, little plan. Put him in a job he couldn't understand. Never led a mission, never held the ground. But Donnie said you're perfect, hear that sound. A broken system, picking broken men. Little Pete we won't forget, and neither will Tehran. IDIOT. 5 letters spell the truth. IDIOT. Written on the roof. Idiot. The whole world saying it. Idiot. And we ain't faking it. Marco, oh Marco, let's rewind. You had the words, you had the mind. He's a fraud, he's a con, he's a liar. You said, now you're shaking hands with the man you shred. Little Marco, funny how that name came back. Trump put it on you, didn't know we'd attach. Now your secretary smiling for the frame. The man who warned us all, playing his game. Remember the water bottle shaking on the stage. Remember the courage written on that page. Marco, Marco, where'd that Marco go? The one who called that I'm the one we used to know. You saw the fraud and chose to join the show. That's not ambition, Marco. That's letting go.
Hey, they got Marco down. They got Marco down. I tell you what, we're going to revisit what Marco was saying right this minute. We're going to revisit little Marco and what he was talking about before this guy became president. I tell you what, these mugs are on point. They are on point with this. I mean, man, they are on point. I tell you what, I'm going to have to start paying closer attention to the words, because inside these videos, they are actually putting out the news. Now, I was joking about it before, but now that I'm starting to see stuff that's going on, they are actually putting out the news. They putting out the news for real. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that they was actually doing a better job than our own news media. They really are. I tell you what, that trips me out that they actually getting a real good quality news. I don't know what you call it. They turned it into a really good quality news outlet. Is what they doing. And man, hey, let's check out what little Marco was saying back in the day.
No way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance.
For you to think that you can pimp out our proud servicemen and women to the Prince of Saudi Arabia is disgraceful, and it once again shows that you are unfit to serve as our commander-in-chief.
Trump is a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person.
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy.
Well, I think the problem is, number one, he's a bully. And, I don't like bullies.
This is what happens when a leading presidential candidate goes around feeding into a narrative of anger and bitterness and frustration.
This is a guy who said that John McCain is not a war hero, yet he saw his own 5 military deployments.
There's nothing in our Constitution that gives you the power to go to war without the express consent of Congress.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
We're about to turn over the conservative movement to a person that has no ideas on any substance on the important issues. The nuclear codes of the United States to an erratic individual.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
The military's not even going to follow his orders.
The military's not going to follow illegal orders. And so the Trump campaign was forced to change their position and say, we're going to try to change the law so that the military can operate within the law. That's a tall order also.
I think he's a kook. I think he's crazy. I think he's unfit for office.
We may not have that many outright Nazis in America, but we have plenty of cowards and bootlickers. And once those fleshy dominoes start tumbling into the Trump camp, the game is up.
Here's the problem with Trump. He says, go ahead and kill the families. Go ahead and torture. Go ahead and go further than waterboarding. What happens when people follow those orders or don't follow them? It's not clear that Donald Trump will have their back. Donald Trump is oftentimes about Donald Trump.
At the end of the day, do you believe Donald Trump, who always tells the truth? Just kidding. Or do you believe that woman on that tape?
He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for.
This is a man who in rallies has told his supporters to basically beat up the people who are in the crowd and he'll pay their legal fees.
There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia.
You want a top-tier presidential candidate getting all of their military advice from watching Meet the Press.
Fellow service members and I, we are not your prostitutes. You are not our pimp.
Can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
No matter what happens in this election, for years to come, there are many people on the right, in the media, and voters at large that are going to be having to explain and justify how they fell into this trap of supporting Donald Trump.
Right. How about that? How about that? How about that? That is interesting. That is interesting. This is what each one of them said before they all ended up working for him. They all literally took jobs to work for him after saying all of this. Now, Lindsey Graham himself, hello, Carmen. Let me formally speak. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Carmen. Glad to see you. All of these people spoke those words about this guy. All of those people. And soon as he got back in, they immediately started bootlicking. Soon as he got in, they started bootlicking. Just bootlicking and bootlicking and bootlicking. They literally have meetings now where they call them cabinet meetings. They call it cabinet meeting, where they sit around a big table and kiss his butt. They just sit around and kiss his butt for a couple of hours around this big table. And they compete with each other to see who can kiss his butt the most. Talk about disgusting. Now I'm gonna start watching these Lego news a little closer because they are putting stuff in this Lego news that is on point. That is really, really they're actually putting the news out. Now, before I'm gonna move to this one thing here, and that is last week I told you all that I was going to show you the kind of person that that would be a Trump supporter. And I managed to find that, and I'm going to show you this person. And when you see this person, you pay attention. Pay attention to, because when I saw this lady, and this is not a political action going on in this clip. When I play this clip, you look at the lady's eyes. Pay very close attention to her eyes as she is spoken to. Look into her eyes and you will see who the Trump supporter is. You will see how the Trump supporter becomes the Trump supporter. Listen to the conversation. The conversation is going to freak you out. It's not political, but it's crazy. Listen to the conversation and look into her eyes. Check it out.
He is a registered sex offender. He is registered on the internet. It's public knowledge. It's public records. Have you ever seen it?
No. I've talked to him about it.
I want you to see it because a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, he's in jail. He's in prison right now again, right, for violating his probation?
Mm-hmm.
And it was because he was put around your grandson?
Yes, he has.
Okay, do you understand that one of the stipulations of individuals who are sex offenders or convicted of being sex offenders, that they can't be around people with children or around children?
Unsupervised.
Look at the picture and absorb in your spirit right now and in your mind that he is a convicted sex offender. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And you've never seen that before, is that correct?
No.
Now, looking at it, what does that make you feel?
I can't say that it doesn't bother me. It bothers me just a little.
You're going to continue to see it?
Absolutely.
How can you lay down or kiss a man who has violated a child? To me, there's no greater crime of all the crimes there is, and I know there's murder.
Did you see her eyes? Did you see her eyes as the judge spoke to her? Her eyes told the whole story. Her eyes told me when I was looking at this, her eyes was saying, I don't care if this guy is a registered sex offender. I don't care if he's a pedophile and not allowed to be around my grandkid. I will put my grandkid in danger to be with this man. That's the kind of person that becomes a Trump supporter. That's the Trump supporter right there. That is the Trump supporter. If you looked into her eyes said it the entire time. I am not even listening. That's what her eyes said. I am not even listening to what you're talking about. That's a Trump supporter. I don't care about the truth. I don't care about what this person is. All you had to do was look in the eyes. Look her in the eyes. This man went back to jail for being around her grandson. And she talking about she's going to keep seeing him. A person who commits sexual crimes against kids, and she's going to keep seeing them. That's the Trump supporter. That's that 30. There's 30% of them walking around on the streets. Every time you see a poll, you see that same 30%. Every poll that comes out, 60-some-odd% people understand this guy's the biggest crook in the world. Couple of percent is, yeah, he's pretty bad, but yeah. But there's 30%. There's that 30% that I love him. I don't care what he does. I don't care how he does it. He could just, he could take my house, strip me naked. I give it all to him. I love him, and that's all it is to it. That's the Trump supporter. It's incredible. It's incredible. The Christians, the evangelicals, thinking this guy has something to do with God. How can this guy have anything to do with God or religion? Anything? You tell me. You tell me, and I go tell somebody else. But you just saw what kind of person becomes a Trump supporter. That is it. That's a person under somebody's spell. That's completely under a person's spell. When I saw that, that got me. That got me. All I could do was just sit there and shake my head. I'm like, wow. Wow. And saying to the judge, I'm going to keep seeing him. The man is in jail for violating his probation. Boy. So, back to the Lego news. The Lego news last week was talking a little bit about, in one of those videos, they spoke about Netanyahu and them talking about going to Argentina. I don't know if any of you caught it. Did any of you all catch that? Did any of you all catch one of those segments where the Lego News was talking about they hooking up a plan to go to Argentina? I caught it, and I meant to look into it because for those of you that don't know, Argentina, there's two things about Argentina that is historically important. Argentina is where a lot of the Nazis went after World War II. They escaped and went to Argentina. Just so we clear, historically, South America, the Nazis fleeing prosecution, they went to South America. A lot of them got away. It is thought that Hitler actually got away and didn't kill himself. We don't know. I wasn't there. But South America is where they went. A lot of them ended up in Argentina. Anyway. And the Lego News a couple of nights ago mentioned the plan to go to Argentina. Well, lo and behold, look what I came up with today, just today, about somebody going to Argentina. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a second reason to go to Argentina. Argentina, for those of you that don't know, is one of the few places on earth that would not be affected by a nuclear bomb, a nuclear blast that is launched from Iran or Israel. That region will not reach Argentina. It is one of the safest places on earth from nuclear attack. Check out this video.
Investor Peter Thiel reportedly moved his family from the U.S. to Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires, as a refugee from high taxes, political turmoil, and potential catastrophes like nuclear war and an AI meltdown. The PayPal co-founder and longtime Silicon Valley power player has met privately with Argentine President Javier Milei, purchased a mansion in one of Buenos Aires' most exclusive neighborhoods, and temporarily relocated his family to the South American nation, according to the New York Times. Thiel has 2 children with his husband, Matt Danzysen. Sources told the paper that Thiel made the move due to concerns about the political direction of the U.S., especially in California, where over half of voters supported a proposed wealth tax on billionaires. The investor became more interested in Argentina as the proposal gained traction and was considering cutting ties with California by the end of last year, the Times reported. His private investment firm Thiel Capital opened an office in Miami's Wynwood neighborhood on December 31st as Californians weighed the proposed tax, which threatened the investor with a whopping 10-figure tax bill, according to Bloomberg. Not least of Thiel's concerns is the possibility of nuclear warfare in the Northern Hemisphere, making a relatively far-flung corner of South America an appealing option, the Times reported. Other members of the global elite, like Thiel buddy Martin Varsavsky, are of the same mind, according to the article. The moment China takes Taiwan or Russia takes Lithuania, I'm in Buenos Aires. Varsavsky, a Spanish-Argentine tech entrepreneur, was quoted as saying, "It's good to have a plan B for civilization." Thiel has also reportedly enrolled his kids in a Buenos Aires school and bought a plot of land in nearby Uruguay, too. Thiel, a supporter of President Trump's, has also forged close ties with Milei, the libertarian whose crusade against taxes, regulation, and government spending closely aligns with Thiel's own worldview, according to the Times. They first met in 2024, and Thiel has since held private meetings with the leader. Argentina's government is considering offering Thiel citizenship or permanent residency, a person familiar with his plans told The Time, though a Milei spokesperson denied that. The move is in keeping with a life of globetrotting for Thiel. The internet mogul was born in Germany, raised in the US, and obtained New Zealand citizenship in 2011. He later sought citizenship in Malta, according to previous reports, fueling criticism that the billionaire was assembling a portfolio of fallback jurisdictions in the event conditions deteriorated elsewhere. In recent years, Thiel has increasingly invoked religious and apocalyptic themes in public appearances. During interviews and speeches, he has often warned that fear of existential threats could be used to justify the creation of a one-world government with sweeping powers. In an interview with Uncommon Knowledge with Peter Robinson, Thiel also spoke extensively about the Antichrist.
But in some sense, the Antichrist as an idea is something that really comes into being in the world after Christ. And so there's a lot of things about it that are mysterious. In some ways, the Antichrist copies Christ. The Antichrist pretends to be greater than Christ, hyper-Christian, ultra-Christian, and then maybe only ultimately, deeply anti-Christian.
Okay. The Times reported that those interests have followed him to Buenos Aires.
Isn't that interesting? So one of the richest men walking around just ups and decides to go to the farthest place he can find that won't be hit by a nuclear attack. Apparently, the missiles that could be fired from Europe don't reach Argentina. And if you look it up, which I did, if you look it up, and I when I looked at it, I just shook my head again. There's a line that they literally have mapped out. There's a line drawn across the globe that puts Argentina in safe territory from any nuclear launch from Europe and probably the United States as well. That's interesting. And all of the billionaires apparently got themselves a nice plan B going. If civilization deteriorates, they done figured out a way to float off into the sunset. Is that crazy or what? Now, we already know Like the video says, they're a bunch of globetrotters. That's all they do is, excuse me, that's all they do is trot around the globe doing their thing. But he done up and moved his family to Argentina. Now, for those of you who don't know who Peter Thiel is, Peter Thiel is he is Palantir, the CEO of Palantir. I've talked about him here on this channel. He's the CEO of Palantir. Palantir is now one of the biggest defense contractors we have. Palantir is into everything that is defense and spying. Palantir is into AI, they into defense, they into spying, and the spying is done on us. Okay, there's another company, Anthropic. I think it's Anthropic. I think Anthropic just refused to allow Palantir to use its AI for diabolical purposes against the United States. And Anthropic is the company, I believe, that that this administration tried to blackball because they would not let Palantir use their platform to spy on you and me, to use all manner of devices and platforms against you and me. They want to spy on the American people. They want to have 24-hour surveillance on everybody. That's who Peter Thiel is. And all of a sudden, he needs to live, he and his family, he and his husband need to be in Argentina. Now, remember also, this is the same Peter Thiel that produced J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel produced J.D. Vance. He took J.D. Vance off the street. J.D. Vance actually lived with him. Now remember, there was a period that J.D. Vance thought he was gay, and I've joked about it on this platform. I've joked about it. Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance lived together for a moment. And I think J.D. Vance, I often joke that J.D. Vance was gay until he saw how big Peter Thiel was. And then he wasn't gay no more. So, but that's the same Peter Thiel that produced the vice president. He groomed him. He bought the Senate seat for him in Ohio. And then he presented him to Trump through Trump's sons. He presented him through Trump to his sons. And that's how he became the pick for the vice president spot. That's the timeline of Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance. So this is that guy, and these guys are setting up a plan B for the end of civilization. And I mean literally setting up a plan B. Now, I typically don't talk about nuclear holocaust and nuclear warfare on here because throughout the nuclear history in this country and abroad, there was an idea of, there was a phrase used called mutually assured destruction. And that phrase means pretty much nobody's going to launch a nuclear weapon, because the minute one country launches, the other country responds. Thus, mutually assured destruction. Now, typically, everybody understands nuclear stuff is a no-no, which is one reason I don't think Iran has been trying to get a nuclear bomb. I think if Iran was trying to get a nuclear bomb, it would not have taken them 47 years. It didn't take everybody else 47 years. Why would it take Iran 47 years? Now that's the one reason I got in my head where I think this whole thing is a farce. Because it wouldn't have took them 47 years to get it. And Iran understands mutually assured destruction like everybody else do. Iran understands if they launched a nuclear device at someone, there was one coming back. That's the way it's set up. Everybody that has nukes has a warning system that tells them a nuclear launch just happened. Everybody knows who's got nukes, and most of these countries know where they are. And the satellites and radar can detect a launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile like that. They can detect when one is launched. That's why they know North Korea launches, South Korea launches. They know Iran launched one a month ago. And it surprised the shit out of them when it launched. Oh, goddamn, that's an intercontinental ballistic missile, an ICBM. So everybody understands launching one is a no-no, except Donald Trump, Lindsey Graham. Excuse me a second. 1 second. And Bibi Netanyahu. Everybody knows not to launch a nuclear weapon. Everybody knows what that's going to mean if you launch a nuclear weapon. As soon as you launch one, one's going to be launched back toward you. And pretty much once that happens, it's just going to be a free-for-all, and that'll be basically the end of the world as we know it. So most people understand nukes are no-nos. Lindsey Graham and Bibi Netanyahu, for some reason, and Donald Trump seem to think that they could get away with launching some. That if we just nuke them, why don't we just nuke them? And think, and here's the thing. They are of the mind that they could nuke Iran and nobody else is going to respond in Iran's favor. But you have to understand that if you launch a nuke, the rest of the world will understand what a rogue you are and how dangerous you are. and you will need to be eliminated. But we got people running this country, i.e., Netanyahu and Lindsey Graham, that are just crazy. They absolutely insane. So people like Peter Thiel get to have a plan B. They get to have a plan B. Nice little plan B to get out of Dodge. I certainly hope it doesn't come to that. I certainly hope it doesn't come to that. I think what I will do, though, is I will make a few preparations. I'm going to have to study nuclear war survival, because there's a way to survive a nuclear blast. I'm sure there is, unless you're in the spot that gets hit. Well, they don't actually explode bombs on the ground when you're talking nuclear. They actually explode in the air. But that's a whole nother story. So these globetrotters got us. They got us pinned down, and they making their plan B. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention. Start paying attention. Because as I was saying earlier, the ceasefire that they've been ignoring and still ignoring today, they traded missiles and drones again today. And from some of the footage I saw, it was some pretty good destruction going on over in Lebanon, because Israel attacked Lebanon pretty good again today. And Israel reportedly has said they are not going to leave Lebanon. You heard it. They said they're not going to leave Lebanon. Israel has decided that they are going to expand. They've decided Lebanon is going to belong to them too. Looks like. Because they've taken over in the south of Lebanon. So this thing might just escalate into something terrible. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I didn't look today. Maybe some of you did. At what the oil did today. I haven't looked. Did anybody hear, or does anybody know what oil prices did today? Because if this war picked back up today, I understand Trump announced this evening that he didn't care if the talks broke down. Of course, he talked tough. He says he didn't care if the talks broke down. Does anybody know what the oil price did today? Oh, wait a minute. I could look that up. Did oil prices go up today? Let me see. Give me 1 second. Oil. Price of oil. Let's see what that is today. Oil price today. It's 95. I guess it didn't go up today, or either it was already that way today. Yeah, $95 today. Okay. Well, it didn't go that high because it was above 100 a couple weeks back. So apparently, apparently this artificial ceiling that is holding the oil price down is still holding. The oil companies are doing their best. The oil companies, the big boys, BP, Chevron, all of those people, they're eating the profits. They're eating up profits, trying to hold the price of oil down while this administration does what it has to do. Oil is being depleted really quick. So even if that plan B is not even needed by the rich folks, even if that plan B, turns out to not be nuclear, it could be a collapse of everything else. It could be a collapse of everything else. Because at some point, this stuff's got to hit the fan. It's got to hit the fan. I'll be keeping my eyes on, I'm going to be looking for oil, and I'm going to be looking for fertilizer, and I'm going to be looking for aluminum. Aluminum, too. I got a feeling aluminum is going to be in short supply. If you need aluminum foil, I would go out and get it today. Because I got a feeling that aluminum is going to be pricey here pretty soon. Because we import that too. For those that didn't know, we import that as well, quite a bit of it. I know Canada's going to be hurting like crazy for aluminum. Canada has an aluminum industry, so they may be okay. I don't know. But I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that too. But I'm going to have to look into some of these things that these folks are doing on this Plan B thing. Because check this out. A guy doesn't move his family to the other side of the earth for nothing. That guy knows something. That guy knows something. You don't move your family to the other side of the earth. Well, I mean, they are globetrotters, I guess they that's their thing, to be all over the planet, wherever they want to go, they just go, So we'll be finding out if there's something to it. That's for sure. And it ain't going to take long, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen pretty soon. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do today. That's all I'm going to talk about today, because that's what I caught. The Lego News. The Lego News mentioned, I'm going to see if I can find that clip. The Lego News mentioned the billionaires sneaking off to Argentina. The war criminals sneaking off to Argentina. I thought that was crazy. I'm going to have to look that one up, see if I can find it. I'm sure I still got it. I'm going to play it again. Anyway. Just in case, I'm going to throw it out there. Is there anything in particular on your mind? Is there anything on your mind right now that you want to toss in or you have a concern about before I get out of here? Because hey, I just realized it's nice and early anyway still, so I'm going to throw it out there on the floor. If you got something you want to discuss, let's discuss it right quick before I get out of here, because I like to every now and then put it to you. Is there anything concerning you? I do like this new time so far. Shoot, because this is gonna free up more time after the show for me to do stuff after the show. So I think that's pretty cool. And I guess there is no comment, so I'm going to end it here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I got to look up that Lego clip, because I got to start paying attention to what they're actually saying in these clips, because, you know, while they've been pretty on the money, I never actually knew that they was actually putting out some pretty decent facts. You know, it's been kind of fun and games for me, but hell, they're actually putting facts out. So I'm going to have to start paying attention. Again, my thanks to y'all for hanging out with me. I'm going to get out of here, call it good. And Monday, June 1st. Ain't that something? This year is just about half over. Wow. This year is moving right along. Anyway, you all have a good one, and I am going to get out of here and enjoy the rest of this day. Y'all take it easy. And you too, Carmen. Stay safe. We'll see you Wednesday. Talk to you later.